Awesome. Hi, Lisa.
Hello.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa. Michael.
Hello, Jeffrey. Hello, everybody. How are you?
How are you?
Fantastic.
Hi,
Nice to see
Gabriel.
you.
Roger, can I make this up?
Hi,
Ah, there we go.
Yes,
I look like I'm in black
Hi,
and white.
Bex.
Yes, buddy.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hello, everyone.
Michael, you got yourself a little haircut there.
Hi,
Yeah.
Rebecca.
Clippers, you know.
Hi, Shy.
Hi, everyone.
Just trying to keep the stuff up top. You know, it's not like it was.
I hear you, brother. I hear you.
I love your backdrop, Shy.
Yeah, this is like our new, a little bit of candles.
Nice.
It's a little more exciting. How is everyone today?
Good.
It was a long week, and it's nice to take a breath. A lot is happening. So we're going to start in a minute or so. Avi will join us in a second. As you know, we're so excited to have Avi with us, Avi Wisnia, and I think it's going to be a really fun evening. And so just let's take a deep breath and just let it all out. And we're going to invite Avi to come on with us.
I hear him.
There he is.
Shabbat
Hi,
shalom, everyone.
Hi, Avi.
Shabbat shalom.
It
And
is
in the
such a
spirit of-
pleasure to be with you.
And in the spirit of Shabbat, as we take a deep breath, Avi's going to lead us in a nigun.
So you'll hear the melody a few times, and if you'd like to hum along and nigun along wherever you are at home, I hope you'll join me.
And I'm going to mute people, but then Avi will unmute himself. Okay.
Yai dai dai, yai dai dai da dai 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 dai, yai dai dai da dai, yai dai dai da dai 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 da dai dai, yai dai, yai dai dai, yai dai dai da dai 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 da da dai 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 da dai 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 da dai dai, yai da dai 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 dai, yai dai dai, yai dai dai da dai 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 dai, yai dai dai da dai 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 da dai dai, yai da dai dai yai dai dai, yai dai dai da dai 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 da dai 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 da dai 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 da dai dai, yai da dai 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 dai, yai dai dai, yai dai dai da dai 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 dai, yai dai dai da dai 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 da dai dai, yai da dai dai, yai dai.
Beautiful. Shabbat shalom. What a great way to get in the Shabbat mood. And this Shabbat is all about dreams. And I'll tell you a little bit more later. And so Michael is doing us the honor of lighting the candles today. And Michael, just unmute.
Should I get more than one? Should I get 2 candles or 1?
2.
Oh,
Do
let me
you
get
have 2?
one. I'll be right back.
Okay. It's like a birthday candle. So maybe another lie as we wait for Michael.
You know, a retrieving candle interlude.
Right. Exactly.
Got it.
Oh, there we go. That was quick.
Okay. I know where my stuff is. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvohosav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Amen. Beautiful. Let's get our service going. Oop. We could start from Vishamru, but I think we want to start from the beginning. So if we can have Ellen unmute for us and read, hold on when I get there. I know it's a little dizzy. Responsively. Everybody can unmute and we can read responsively with Ellen.
May the doors of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for fellowship.
May it
Welcome all who are
May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness, pride, envy, and enmity.
May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness.
May this Kehillah be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. Amen.
Amen. And as we like to say, Amen ve'amen. And so
Why do you do that?
we say amen twice, amen and amen. So that to really say that we are amen, the word amen actually means I agree. And so we agree, wholeheartedly, not just once, but twice or 3 times. And as we get into our spirit of Shabbat, let's join with Yedid Nefesh. Yedid Nefesh Av harachamam Meshochavdecha Eretzonecha Ya'utz avdecha Kemo אל מול הדרך ירב לו ידידותך מנוף עצוב וכל We ask Israel to unmute. לכו נרננה לאדוני נריע לצור אישנו נקדמה פניו בתודה בזמירות נהריה לו שירו לאדוני שיר חדש שירו לאדוני כל הארץ
ברכו שמו, בשרו מיום ליום ישועתו. אלי
Sing unto God a new song. Sing it with happiness, with joy. And that's what it's all about. Being joyful, being happy. Baal Shem Tov always said, prayer isn't supposed to be sad. It's not supposed, even though some of the tunes are kind of in a minor key, it's not supposed to be sad. It's supposed to be happy and joyful and soulful. And so we'd like to ask Rebecca to unmute and read Shabbat is the place for us.
Shabbat is the place where time and space meet, without questioning how the beginning began or how the ending ends. Shabbat is the place where song and silence meet, blessing each other with the gift of rest. Shabbat is the place where dreams and angels meet, yearning together for a world of peace. Shabbat is the place where holiness and eternity meet, praying together for the world to come.
Amen. And as we imagine that we are the Kabbalists in Tzfat, and we are all dressed, they mostly dressed in white. They ran out to the fields, and they said, come, Shabbat. Let's welcome you in. And that's what we're going to do now. Lecha dodi likrat kala. Come join us, Shabbat.
דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ותפארת ולתהילה לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה היי די לך דודי היי די לקראת כלה היי די פני שבת נקבלה לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה היי די לך דודי ביי ביי לקראת קלה, הלא די פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי.
And let us join in Baruch.
אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. לי 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 לי. ברוך אתה אדוני אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני המריב הרבים. Let's join in Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod L'Olam Va'ed. And we ask Elizabeth to unmute and lead us in Ve'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך ובביתך, ופלגתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך. וכשאתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. תודה רבה. And then we go into Mi Kamocha, and the people of Israel stood by the sea, and they really, really sang with joy. And Avi is going to lead us in Mi Kamocha.
And it is with that joy that the rabbi spoke about that this tune is also a jubilant tune. Ya bye bye bim bim bam, ya bye bye bim bam, ya bye bye bim bim bam, ya bye bye bim bam, ya hi da 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 da, ya bye bye bim bam, ya hi da 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 da, ya bye bye bim bam. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar v'kodesh, nora tehilot osefele, nora tehilot osefele. Ya bye bye bim bim bam, ya bye bye bim bam, ya bye bye bim bim bam, ya bye bye bim bam, ya da 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 da, ya bye bye bim bam, ya da 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 da, ya bye bye bim bam.
Amazing. And I know some of us haven't heard this particular one in a long time, and it's a very joyous one. Thank you, Avi. And so let's wrap ourselves now in that Sukkot Shalom, in the canopy of peace, as we sing Ufos Aleinu. פרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, פרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ברוך אתה אדוני הפורס סוכת שלום, עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל ירושלים. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. ברוך אתה אדוני הפורס סוכת שלום, עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל ירושלים. פרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, פרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ברוך אתה אדוני הפורס סוכת שלום, עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל ירושלים. And as we move through our service, we're still thinking about dreams. And I'll explain in just a moment about those dreams. We think about all the kinds of dreams that we've been having lately, dreams that we're going to have, and dreams about Shabbat, about finally relaxing, taking in a deep breath no matter what goes on in the world, and just having a moment, a Shabbat. V'shamru. V'shamru bnei Yisrael et HaShabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ברית עולם. Shabbat Shalom once again, everyone. So good to see everyone. So excited that Avi is here with us. And as I was saying, our Torah this week is about dreams. And so most of us know the story of Joseph, right? Joseph and the coat of many colors. And he goes through some kind of an adventure. His brothers end up selling him. And that's last week's Parsha. And now he's in jail because he got to Egypt. He was working for a very famous, one of Pharaoh's right-hand men, I guess. And the wife was kind of doing some naughty things, and she accused Joseph of it, which wasn't true, but he was thrown into jail. And he's in jail. And he doesn't think he's ever going to get out of jail. The one thing that Joseph has is that he has this ability, this talent to interpret dreams. He can really interpret people's dreams. And not only that, but he tells them what's going to happen. What does that dream mean in your life? And it's true, and it always comes true. And he, he's in jail, and someone comes, the jailer comes in and says, I had this dream, and it comes true, and he's so grateful. And the Pharaoh is having a dream also. He's having this dream every night. It's recurring. And it's a dream about 7 cows. And there are 7 skinny, emaciated cows in the field. And then these big, beautiful, hefty cows come and eat the skinny cows. And this dream keeps happening, and he doesn't understand what's going on. He thinks it's some kind of a sign. He just doesn't know. And everybody, he asks all of he has interpreters. He has dream interpreters, I guess you call them. And none of them make sense. None of them really give him an answer that really supports, it just doesn't make sense to him. So remember this, this guy that was released from jail as well, comes to the Pharaoh and says, he's his wine guy, and it says, Pharaoh, your majesty, I don't want to intrude, but I was in jail, and there's this guy, his name is Joseph, and he can interpret dreams, and he's really good. He told me that I would get out, and not only that, but I'd be working for you. And if he told me, I never thought that would be possible. So Pharaoh says, you know what, I have nothing to lose. I'm gonna ask him to come in and do it. So he brings Joseph before him, the Pharaoh, and he tells him, I have this dream. And Joseph says, very easy. what it means is that you're going to have 7 years of famine, and then you're going to have 7 years of amazing, plenty. Everything's going to be plentiful, and everything's going to be great. But you can't just rely on that. You have to take action. The king is so impressed that Joseph must have a plan, and he immediately puts Joseph as his second right-hand man and says, Joseph, you're coming out of jail and you're going to become the right-hand man, and you're going to you're going to basically rule the country for me, kind of be my second hand, and you're going to help us with this famine. And so, interestingly enough, we hear there's a lot of new age ideas about dreams and what does it mean. And a lot of it, you don't know, that comes from Judaism. A lot of things are influenced by us, from Kabbalah, from mysticism, but only even from our Talmud. And what does Judaism say about dreams? So there are many, many different things. And our Talmud tells us that dreams they're places where, it's not just our subconscious that thinks about what's happening in the day or in our world, but they are messages, and they are trying to tell us something about what's going on in our life, what might happen in our life. They're giving us messages, but the caveat is that it's not set in stone. So there are no bad dreams. So even if you've had a nightmare, for example, it's the way you interpret the dream that will determine what comes true or doesn't come true. So in other words, if you dream of something and it doesn't feel good, if you interpret it in a positive way, then you have the power to change events, and you have the power to make sure that good things happen to you. And you also need to take action. So if you have a dream and you were flying, let's say, and the plane is crashing, and then you wake up and immediately you say, oh no, I'm going to crash, then that's kind of your thing. But instead of that, take a deep breath and try to interpret it in a way of, oh, you know what, maybe I'm going somewhere, I'm going on a journey, and think of what that journey is. And just because we get a message doesn't mean that it's, again, set in stone and that's what's going to happen to us. So we have the power to change things as well. And messages are just that. They're there to tell us this is what's going on. This is what's happening. This is what could happen, but we have the power to change it. And so often our rabbis, when people came to them to interpret dreams, they would take a moment, take a deep breath, and they would give them the positive interpretation, so that then people can go and get something positive in their life. And that's what's happening with Joseph here. He's giving that, there are going to be 7 years of famine, but what are we going to do about it? We're going to turn it around, and then you're going to have 7 amazing years. So never be afraid to dream. And what is a dream? It's very elusive. We're still trying to find out. It's something that spirituality answers for us, sometimes fully, sometimes not. It's something that science certainly is working on and still hasn't quite cracked the secret. But it's good. We all agree and we all know that it's good to dream. It's good to dream about things. And it's even better to take those dreams and create something positive out of them. Shabbat Shalom. So if you'd like to unmute, and we're going to do a Misha Berach. If we have any names that we'd like to say, we're going to say Misha Berach for Paul.
So I don't know their names, but my coworker Jill, her in-laws both have COVID, and her father-in-law is in the hospital, and her mother-in-law is very ill and home 3 hours away from her. So her husband went home this week to care for his parents.
Yeah.
Also COVID, the family of Margaret, the family of Emily, and not COVID, my cousin Phoebe.
My Patricio with COVID.
My sister Vicky feels lit. Vera Bashaya.
I have two friends with COVID. Dan and Nancy. I don't know, Ellen, you probably know them. And my mother is just going through a really hard time. She's 94. So. And we just had a cousin pass yesterday from COVID. So for that family, 3 family members in less than a year. So
And we also want to mention Topher, who's been in the hospital and it has suffering from some mental issues as well. And anyone who is suffering with, we say, body and spirit. Right now, these are times where both are happening, and there are cases where people, not just from COVID, but they're not able to get the treatment, and we say Mishabelach for everyone. And as a community, we remember to do the things that we need to do to protect ourselves and protect everyone else. It's not a political thing, it's a human thing, and that's what we're all about. So if there are any other names, let's just keep them in our hearts and sing as loudly as we can so the whole world can get some much needed healing. Mishaberach, our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Mishaberach, our mothers, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel. May the one bless those who are sick with complete good health, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. Let us say Amen. Mishaberach avotenu Avraham, Yitzchak veYaakov. Mishaberach imotenu Sarah, Rivka, Leah ורחל. יברך את כל החולים עם רפואה שלמה. רפואת הנפש, רפואת הגוף, ונאמר Amen. And let us say Amen. And we're going to ask Ruben to unmute and lead us in the Amidah. Please rise spiritually or physically.
Adonai tzefotai tiftach uhufi tehillatcha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'chonei HaKol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, U'mevi Geula Livnei B'neihem, V'man Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach Umagen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Profet Sarah. Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Rav Lehoshia. Mashiv HaRuach, Umorid HaGashem. Mechakel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye Kol Chai Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umechaye Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha B'Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memid Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'nemanata l'chayot kol chai. Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch Shemo.
Mechaye kol chai.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יעללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Thank you so much. תודה רבה. And we ask Avi to lead us in Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom, Shalom במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום. Oseh Shalom, Shalom במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום. יעשה שלום, הוא יעשה שלום, עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום, שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום, הוא יעשה שלום, הוא יעשה שלום, עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום, שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום. עושה שלום, שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום, הוא יעשה שלום.
Beautiful. That's the spirit of Shabbat. I was talking and I was, on mute. So as we all know, that's what happens. So if we have our Kiddush cups, we may now raise them. ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם, ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישפוט ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו. כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו, אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. סברי חבריי. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו, ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית. כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. אמן. לחיים. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שנתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we remember them. In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter,
we remember them.
In the opening of the buds and in the rebirth of spring,
we remember them.
In the blueness of the sky and in the warmth of winter,
we remember them.
In the rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of autumn,
we remember them.
In the beginning of the year and when it ends,
we remember them.
So long as we live, they too shall live, for they are now a part of us, as we
remember them.
And if we'd like to mention any names, we can also
Frederick Parker,
Werner Hyman, Shirley Swislow,
and
no.
Hold on, not yet.
Marion Johnstone.
And let's say together. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עולמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום, עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו amen. And may their memories be for a blessing. And normally now we would sing a lechilach, but we have Avi, and Avi is an amazing singer-songwriter. You saw in the bio. You can go on his website and see a lot more and hear a lot more. He's everywhere on Spotify and iTunes, everywhere you can find him. They love him in Brazil as well. His music is amazing. And so Avi, I'm going to let Avi take it away, and he's going to do our final song for us.
Thank you so much, Rabbi Shai. It's really a pleasure to be here with your whole community this evening at this time, especially this year where we need community the most and where sometimes we can be with each other the least. But we still have this kind of virtual space, and I'm so thankful to be with you in your virtual space. Thank you for inviting me in. There's a song that I wrote a while ago that I wrote about a friend who was going through a dark time. And I wanted to impart to this friend that no matter how dark things get, no matter how bleak things are, and sometimes things can be very bleak, that things can always turn around and things can always get better. And we celebrate New Year's, right, on January 1st. It's coming up. And I know we all want to turn the page on 2020 as soon as possible. But January 1st is a wonderful marker because we get to make a resolution. We get to make a plan of how we want to change things going forward. But the truth is, it's just a day, like any other day. It's just a turn of the page on the calendar. Any day can be the start of a new year. And so as we look to hopefully turning the page on all of the bad things that happened this past year, just remember that any day can be the start of something new, can be the start of a new year. So in that spirit, here's my song, New Year. He was learning to let go. He had enough but was not full. He found it hard to swallow. Never say what really is on your mind. It's really not the time and place. Never face the world with an open hand. But this is a new year. This is a new year. This is a new year. This is a fists were punching in the air. His feet would take him to the edge, though he never thought they'd take him there. Never turn your back on the way things are. They are what they're supposed to be. Never face the world with an open hand. This is a new year. 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 Shabbat Shalom.
Yeshar Koach, Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Avi, again. And Avi and I go back a long time ago. I mean, a long way. We 16 years ago. Jessica also is in here. We all worked at a little camp you might know. It's 92nd Street Y camp in New York City called Camp Yomi. And we were all very excited young people who tried to make kids happy, and we did a Shabbat together every Friday, and it was such a pleasure to harmonize. And they'd give us this big stage, and we were crazy. We thought we were stars. We were stars.
We were.
And if Zoom wasn't there, we would probably harmonize, and it would be amazing. But we really are so happy to have Avi. Go to his website, check out. He has a new album, right? Coming out.
Yes. Tonight's the last night to pre-order it, in fact. But yes, it will be coming out in the new year. Something else to look forward to in the new year.
And this is a new album in 10 years, which is nice. That's a great achievement. Thank you so much. A couple of announcements before we have, Caroline has to do our hamotzi for us, and Shabbat Shalom, of course. Next week, same time, same place, we're going to have Shabbat. Avi was the first of, I hope, a few people that will come along and kind of share Shabbat with us. There are a couple of people who actually reached out and said that they want to come and join us as well. And so I think that's really, really nice. It's nice to have different people come and join us and share their talents with us. What was it? There was something I was going to say. Well, I guess it wasn't important because it flew right out of my head. But thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Let's have let's get our challahs and have Caroline lead us in hamotzi.
So just to show Avi, because I know he hasn't probably seen this. And by the way, that song you just sang was delightful. So if you haven't actually got a holler, and I can see some beautiful hollers being shown, just your hands, you go like this, and you've instantly got a holler. So. Here's a tasty loaf of challah, loaf of challah, loaf of challah. Here's a tasty loaf of challah. And now we say the bracha, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotze lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Amen.
Time to say Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Time to say Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat 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 Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Shalom.